to junk food, I'd probably say the processed hamburger. Like a really processed, like a Big Mac or a quarter pounder with cheese or a Whopper or that sort of a burger
Mm-hmm.
that you get from a quick service restaurant.
And have you been tempted to have one since just to see what it tastes like?
No, I haven't actually.
I
I mean,
know.
I actually in the whole time of nearly 6 years, I've never eaten a food from one of those restaurants.
No.
I've I've managed to avoid it. I've had hamburgers and I've had homemade pizzas and like if I'm in a top restaurant and they've got a
Yeah.
burger, I might look at it. Sometimes, most of the time, I get it without the bun, but sometimes I have it with a bun.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, but the ones in the quick serve restaurants, the ones that I know are mostly just energy and very little nutrients.
No.
I haven't tried that.
Okay. So
Don't
what?
miss it.
So what are your say top three rules that you live by now? Like in terms of when you eat things, like what are your rules that you do or don't do?
Um, I guess when I talk about them as rules, I'd probably use the word guidelines better because I don't sort of like the idea of breaking a rule because if you break a rule, it's kind of like a bad thing. And
Yeah.
I'm not big on getting angry with myself. I'm big on saying I'm going to try and do this, and if sometimes I fail, that's okay. But most of the time, I'm going to try and do it, and that's how I try to think about it. So
Mm-hmm.
what I try to do is I try to spend the beginning part of every day, like it's morning here in London, and I've got a juice in the minibar fridge here that I've got that was made yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
or might have been the night before it was made, and it's sealed. And I will start my day off with that juice, and I will start my day off with eating plants. So I'll have the juice, and I might have a fruit salad. I've got some apples here, and I might eat some apples,
Mm-hmm.
but I won't be having cereal or pancakes or toast. I won't be doing that for breakfast.
No.
It's like, okay, breakfast is going to be plants. Now lunchtime, I've got to go and do a presentation today, a juicing demonstration in a store, the department store here in London.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do that, and then afterwards I'll go and find a salad somewhere. Maybe a quinoa salad or a salad that's all plants.
Mm-hmm. Have you been
Some,
to any raw food restaurants in? You been to Whole Foods in Kensington?
yeah, I have, yeah. So I go to a place like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then tonight I'm getting a flight down to France. So tonight's meal will not be as arranged or organised as possible.
Yeah.
So not sure what I'll have to put together for dinner, but dinner I will if I feel like it, have something more regular because I had my plans throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I try to get about 40% of my caloric intake, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of means 2 meals a day plants,
Yeah.
and one other meal is processed or animal. But generally always with some veggies or salad or fruit or somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I guess, the one rule. Second rule is I would say I don't beat myself up if I fall off the rails you know. And the third rule would be I think that I drink a lot of water. I guess I'm big on water. I don't drink coffee or tea. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink soda. I don't drink energy drinks. I drink water, fresh fruit juice. Sometimes I have processed juice because it's all I can get my hands on. And my treat would be club soda with or mineral water with fresh lime juice. And every now and then, depending on where it's from, I might have a ginger ale.
Nice. Okay. And if it anyone that wants to get into juicing, that's never tried it before, what would you say? How would you recommend they get started into it?
Well, I would say that the best thing to do would be to take you got to get a machine because you want to do it yourself. And you want to try and get the right mixture of recipes that work for you. You don't just have to do what I did. You want to try and get as much of the colours of the fruit and vegetable rainbow. You want to get your purples, your reds, yellows, your oranges, and your greens. You want to get all those combinations of plants. You want to put them through your machine and make up a juice that works for you. Try and make it mostly vegetable based if you can. Like 75% would be good, 25% fruit. But if that's hard, you just go adjust that the other way. But I wouldn't change anything in your diet. I'd just try and add maybe 500 mils or a litre a day.
Yeah.
In America, that's like 16 ounces or 32 ounces of juice a day. Just add it in, like in the mornings. Just say, okay, I'm going to drink this, I'm going to have this. And you'll find that it starts to really satiate you and you'll eat less during the day. And you'll be surprised at just how good you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I often just juice till about 3 and I'll maybe have a salad.
Yeah.
And then have dinner.
No, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. Makes me feel good.
No, that'll work.
I texted my friend last night and said, I'm interviewing Joe Cross tomorrow. Have you got anything you want to ask him? The first answer that came back, I will tell you in a minute. Before I get to that, one of her questions was quite valid. And it was, what technique did Joe use to inspire rather than preach to people to get them on board?
What technique did I use to inspire rather than preach? Is that right?
Yeah. As in, I think what she means is she is a fitness trainer. And I think one of the challenges she finds is motivating people to actually sign up.
Yeah. Well, I think what I did was I shared my story. I didn't ask anything or ask anyone for anything. I didn't go in there with a view of trying to get people to sign up. Well, I went in with a view to show what I was doing. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where I've been. This is why I'm doing it. And I'm enjoying it. It's working for me. You want to come along for the ride, you come along. If you don't, you don't. So I was very much of that attitude. Now, your friend, she's a fitness trainer, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think that when you're in the business, particularly small business, there are so many people out there that are in this space of health and wellness, and they're starting out on their own. There's a couple of things which I've noticed is that they're usually really passionate about the industry. They're like really into it.
Yeah.
And that can be a positive, and also it can appear to the people that they're trying to bring in as being a little bit daunting, because they're so fit, so healthy, live a certain way that the aspiration of the client is, well, I don't think I could ever be like you, kind of thing. And therefore that can be daunting. So my advice would be to try and be as regular as possible, admit your faults, talk about your struggles, so that you can relate more on the level of the person that you're trying to bring into the world, and try and just be honest with how hard it is to stay on track, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, all of those sorts of things. I think that the honesty approach is always better.
Okay. You don't have to I have to answer this question, but one of my friends asked.
I think I know what it's going to be, but go on.
She says, "I fancy him. Is he single?"
I knew that was going to be the question.
Do you get that a lot? Clearly.
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying I get it a lot, but no. The answer is I'm not single. But I appreciate the interest. That's very kind.
You're welcome, Joe. It's been lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for taking the time. Hope you have a safe flight home, and wish you all the best with Reboot and Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead.
Thank you, Polly. I appreciate it. And Juice On, UK, it's been a great tour here, and we're looking forward. I'm coming back in September for a tour, so I can't wait.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thanks, Joe. Bye.
Thanks, Polly. Bye.
Bye.